Hi guys, welcome to another episode of StepHerUp. I'm Maitri Mangal,
I am Yashasawa.
and we are the founders of StepHerUp. Today we have Sanya Zaman, who is the founder of RecoverSeason, and we just heard she's also going to be a founder of another company, AmlaMatters. But besides this, she's a PhD candidate and she's an engineer as well. Welcome, Sanya.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So I guess let's go into a little bit of background of what you do. Obviously, you're an all-rounder, so if you want to go into details about, what other aspects that you do.
Sure. So usually introduce myself as a founder of RecoverSeason, and then people are like, okay, but then what? What else? So I tell them that I'm a PhD candidate. I'm doing my PhD in supply chain and business analytics, focused in data as well. And currently, I'm working as a SAP and business analyst role in Mitsubishi, and that's very I would say that's an interesting side, but it's also not like the glamorous portion of it. Um but that's my livelihood. That keeps my business and my livelihood afloat. So I value that and treasure that aspect as well.
So I guess we'll speak a lot more about your business. And before we get into that, we would love to know more about your life and how you've gotten to where you are today. So a lot more
Sure.
about your background, where you started, when you moved to the States, if you did, and everything around that. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for asking that question. I'm from India. I grew up in this town called Surat, which is a very funny little big town because it's known for the diamonds and it's known for the textiles, and it's also one of the cleanest cities in India. And not a lot of people know that, but it's like 3 hours from Bombay, and a lot of like Bombay cream crowd comes to Surat because it has like a very like I said, it's like very business friendly, and it's a city full of entrepreneurs and people who are self-made. So coming from that background, I moved to US 8 years ago to do my master's. And there's a book that I recently read. I forgot what's it called, but it said that all migrant immigrants are entrepreneurs because you have to start from scratch and start fresh from wherever you are. And I think that resonated with me so much. And yeah, so that's where I'm from. I am a petroleum engineer by education. Did nothing in petroleum engineering. I got there because my dad is a petroleum engineer as well. And I moved to supply chain right from the start. And I think that's a very nice space to be in. I think supply chain is fun and it's very current with where we are in the world industry, and also it helps to grow the business, and you know how to scale it and how to be savvy with operations of it.
Did your dad like the fact that you moved out of the petroleum engineering or no?
No, he has been like super kind. I mean, he was like very pushy for me to like do something that he is aware of. But
Uh-huh.
at the same time, when he realized that I can make him pay for myself, he was happy, and he really guides me, and he's not pushy that way.
Okay, that's good to
But he
hear.
was before I took before I took that
I
step.
bet. Awesome. So after this, when you got into the States, you got your master's, and now you're in the supply and engineering
Yeah.
aspect. How did you move into fashion?
Yeah, so fashion has always been there. My mom is big into fashion. She knows a lot about like fabrics, and she's a big hoarder of clothes, very much like me. And when I was little, I remember my mom telling me like one day we'll have like our own boutique and stuff.
Oh.
So yeah, and then when COVID hit, so this is the interesting part. So when the COVID hit, because I was semi in like a consulting world and things did not go my way. And I went to India for a good 4 or 5 months, and that's how we started RecoverSeason with my parents. COVID was difficult for us and as a family because I lost my grandparents and my family. We were struggling just because of COVID and because of the loss, and because my mom is a doctor as well. So she used to go to the hospital, and everything was pretty intense at home
Mhm.
because of so many deaths that we had been seeing, friends, family.
Mhm.
So when I went to India, I saw that my parents were pretty sad, and like things were not looking very bright. And so I reminded my mom of this little dream that we once had. And that's how we started RecoverSeason because it was always there in my mind. I went to school in LA and it was like living in Instagram. So there like lots of like fashionista people, lots of stores opening up, and I love going to stores and like studying about them, like when is the sale coming, and I'm very good at predicting what's gonna come next and what's
Oh, wow.
what's gonna be in sale, what's not. So it's like a little game that I play with myself.
Yeah.
So all those things added up to like RecoverSeason, and it's a little enterprise that I have with my parents. So it's a homegrown brand. My dad handles a lot of operations, and my mom and me, we do designing and the creative aspect of it. So another reason for RecoverSeason to exist is because uh, us as a family, I have lived apart from my parents for many years now. So whenever we used to hop on a call, it was like, "Acha khana khaya? Haan, theek hai. Kya kiya din mein? Bas itna hi." So I was like, let's have more conversation, and also because we as a family were like struggling through so many things, and you know how Indian parents are, they don't want to like confront anything. Everything is like under the rug. So I was like, okay, let's not do that. Let's have a more meaningful conversation. Let's use our time. So RecoverSeason is also way for me to bond well and better with my family because I want to keep them close. And you know how life is, like I go home for 20 days in 365 days. So that's the most I have. So I want to like make sure like we stay in touch. I have like Zoom calls and with my vendors and my parents. It's like super cool to see that side of them. And also I get to boss them. What?
Your parents are in India still?
They're in India. Yeah,
Oh,
they're in
okay.
India.
I didn't realize. I thought they were here because I see stories. Because
Yeah,
we follow each other on Instagram. I see stories, obviously, and I thought they were in America.
Yeah,
with you.
no, they come very often, thank God. But I know they live in India. They're based there. So yeah, like I get to boss them around a little bit, so it's fun.
Nice.
So you've mentioned that in your case, you were fortunate enough to have parents that had similar interests and were there to push you and support you. Did you have any other people in your life that were mentors to you or were there to support you and you could learn from?
Yeah, I think everybody, including my three here, like she was there in our first launch, and I think I take a lot from all the people I meet. And there's one person I want to tell you about is her name is Shalini, and I met her on Instagram. Random friendship, and she lives in New York, and she has been helping me. She's like our first angel investor. She believes in us so much, and like that person, that's why like Instagram is like such a cool place that you can meet so many nice people, have like genuine connections with them. So she has been through and through like supporting us right from our inception to like website stuff to like now being an angel investor. And even she texted me today, "Oh, I'm going to Jaipur. Do you need me to research and stuff?" So she has been like really honored. And also like I said, I'm from Surat, so it's a textile capital of Asia. They have like a lot of businesses there. And my friends from school, they are in the business, so they guide me. It's nice to have them involved in my business as well, and like carry that relationship forward, which usually fades away. You know, like school friends, you don't have a lot to talk to them, but fortunately, me being their client and customer helps like establish that relationship. So yeah, a lot of people, in fact, and I meet quite a lot of people every day, and they inspire me, and they have been always supportive. Nobody has ever said that, "Oh, this is not going to work." Actually, someone has said that, but I don't listen to them. So you don't need to.
There's always negative people,
I
right?
guess
Yeah.
that feedback still helps sometimes, I guess. It's always good to have.
Sometimes, yeah, but
yeah.
yeah, it depends on who it's coming from.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, right, exactly. Like there needs to be a critical feedback, right? It can't just be like, it's not gonna work. Like that's not helpful at all. So
yeah,
I feel that. Do you think being in Surat, because you keep talking about how you're so close to Mumbai and like you saw so many like businesses open up, like did that really motivate you? Because I'll say like for me, like being in New York City, like versus I grew up in upstate New York. So there was like people were just chill and like just relaxed in what they were doing. But when I came to New York City, I was like, oh my God, I have to do so much more. So did that like happen to you as well?
Not really, because I am always a person who's like, "Oh, let's do something." So like everybody around me is like, "Okay." But being in LA really motivated me to like look at things in more of a business perspective. Because and of course, being in Surat and being half Gujarati really helps me. It's like in my blood to do business. I cannot help
It's
it.
beautiful, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I think LA literally bloomed me in terms of like how to utilize your social media, how to build connections and network, going to different events. I'm big on doing events and like having the community involvement, much like you guys. So I think LA as a city definitely pushed me to go to an edge and like see things in a very different. I would put it in a transactional way, even because I feel like that's the world we live in a little bit. But yeah, like LA definitely helped me a lot to see things in a more clear business perspective.
Got it. And what about your competition? I feel like in fashion industry, it's so saturated.
Yeah.
How do you make your how do you make your brand,
How do
right?
you stand out?
Yeah, how do you stand out from others?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, I've not been concentrating on competition a lot lately because I've been going through so much things in my life. But Recover Season actually stands out from different perspectives. First of all, we are like all about sunset. So our vision is about bringing mental health and sunsets as a medium for you to like stay healthier, and also
Mhm.
connecting that to South Asian roots by using South Asian fabrics and designs and bringing it to mainstream fashion.
Mhm.
And everything that you see on the page mostly is like purple and pink, and
Mhm.
purple has a great message behind it. And I think you guys would also resonate because purple is mixture of red and blue, correct? So
Mhm.
red for me is rootedness and tradition and culture that we bring from our country, India, and
Right.
also South Asian subcontinent. But also blue for me is my life here, which is independent, free spirited, very
Right.
headstrong in a way, and yet like and mixture of both is purple. So that's why Recover Season Purple is like
That's so
our brand color.
beautiful.
Yeah, that's our brand color, and also is the color of sunsets, and it
Uh-huh.
also like gives you that calm and like also like
Right.
it's very rare in nature. So that's
Yeah.
the story behind Recover Season, and I think that um, that keeps us apart from the rest of the brands. Not saying that rest of the brands do not have purple as a color, but
Yeah.
that's our focus. That's our
I think
Yeah, that's
yeah,
fair.
it's definitely very unique. Like when I saw Recover Season, like I've seen your runway as well, right?
yeah,
Like the models walk bare feet in your show, and that's like so different than all the other
yeah,
brands as well. Like people are required to like wear high heels, but your brand was
yeah,
like, oh, we're just gonna walk bare feet, and that's just so special, right? Like,
yeah. And
um,
bare feet also
definitely
helps
very
you to, yeah, bare feet helps you to like stay grounded and like all the goodness of the earth come to you. That's the funda of walking barefoot, and also it's very, very
yeah.
good for your mental health and overall well-being.
Right, right, makes sense. So I guess when you did start though, like how did you build that brand and how did you portray that message to the others as well? Like, what was your connections like? Did you have, I guess, Instagram following that helped you build your brand up from there, or were you just doing a lot of runway shows? Like, what was your, I guess, marketing
Yeah.
strategy? Kind of?
So first of all, I'm still not as established as a brand. I have like a long way to go.
You
But
are, you
We
really are
disagree on
though.
that.
but I am taking things on a whim. Like I strategized in the start saying, okay, let's do New York Fashion Week and
Mhm.
South Asian New York Fashion Week. And that was a big step, especially in terms of like a new brand investing so much right at the start. But I was like, and this is where like having a full time comes into picture, right? Like you might as well invest in so much in stock market. Why not invest in yourself a little bit?
Yeah.
That was my goal, and that was the vision that I was going for. So I invested
Mhm.
in myself. I was like, okay, let me put this money in my business right from the start, and then we'll see how it goes. It did go well. It was received well, and also having a little bit of social media following, having the network in New York City, in LA, definitely helped me to like reach out to right people and have that network of support.
Mhm.
So doing South Asian New York Fashion Week was pretty nice. But also just posting about mental health, for example, and sunsets, and like having that color scheme in mind helped me to like differentiate myself from what others were doing. And
Mhm.
another thing that has helped us, especially here in Austin, that we have been doing is doing like small events, which are like crochet making, which is like again very good for, it's very therapeutic,
Yeah, therapy.
therapeutic, therapeutic
Yeah.
to like to have that mindfulness by doing something so tiny, but like you're building something. So it's like very good for your mental health. We have been doing paint nights. We are doing like a small friendsgiving. We did like few fashion shows. So these things have like helped us really seep into Austin fashion market, and I'm hoping like we can do more cities, bigger events, but for now at least it's been a year in business for RecoverSeason. I think that has really helped us to like grow deep in our community and make impact to people which are deep. And I wouldn't say it's only because we want to like ask them to like buy stuff. It's because we want to our community to be built in such a way that it's personal and we are impacting them in a positive way, and it's good for their mental health and they can come and meet friends.
I know now you are a successful business owner. You're also planning on launching another venture. And for anyone watching that just has an idea or even a step further, that just wants to start something of their own, what thought process goes into creating that idea and moving from that idea into a successful operation?
Yeah, sure. So whenever someone asks me like, how did you open this? I was like, just chat GPT your way and just do it. Because I remember like when I was in India, like those 4 months, it's overwhelming, like when people ask, oh, what's your business model? Oh, what's your business plan? I'm like, I have one because like I know it, but then also I'm just taking one step at a time. Like your first step should be to, okay, like let's get a Instagram handle. Let's open our company, let's get a paperwork in place, let's start telling people about it. And I think this is and I'm big in manifesting and I'm big on like building my own dreams. So
Yeah.
when you start telling people, you become accountable and you become responsible to do
Right. I
that.
was just gonna say, it's
Yeah,
like your
so
own responsibility that like now I
yeah.
have to do it.
Yeah, and I feel like and of course, like different people work in different ways. When you keep things inside you, then you're just talking to yourself. You're not exuberating that idea out in the world, and the universe doesn't conspire for you because it does not know what you're thinking is my thinking. So,
Yeah.
like I think just start talking to people, because the more you share, the more ideas you'll get. And like you asked me, like when someone says this is not gonna work, that might be true, but if you don't tell people, how are you gonna know? So
Right.
it's
Yeah.
very important to like start talking about it and start really manifesting your dream. Tell people that you're like opening like you want like your business to be $1 billion company very soon, and then just start manifesting it. That would
Yeah.
be my first step. And of course, like start taking actions, because when you talk to people, they will also like guide you through the way. And like they'll tell you what your next step is going to be. And before you know it, you'll have your own company. You'll be like running its operations and crying about sales.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess two things from that is, one is, how do you deal with people that kind of laugh at you, almost like, I feel like like when you're sharing your ideas and it's just an idea, they're like, yeah, we'll see if you get to be making like $1 billion company or not, right? Like
Yeah.
how do you perceive that like negative emotion and not let that affect you?
Surprisingly, I haven't felt that. Maybe because I'm so delusional. But but yeah, that if like the only instance that I have come across it is I did not listen to it really. I was like, okay, let me tell you how it's done, rather than like keeping it in a way that it's negative. I think yeah, that's what I would have done, and that's what I'm doing right now. Is just shrugging it off and believing in the dreams that you think you can achieve.
Yeah. And then my second question was, since RecoverSeason, you said that it's only been a year in business. How do you deal? I guess this is also more about like your work-life balance, since you're also
Yeah.
A PhD candidate and working full-time, is how do you have the time, or how do you find the time to build yet another business when you're, still starting the first business as well?
Yeah, honestly, I'm juggling quite a bit, and because my previous job I still had some time, but with my new job I'm finding it very difficult. But timetable helps, and categorizing your priorities help. There's a amazing app called Notion. I don't know if you guys use it, but
Yeah.
Notion has been tremendously helpful to like prioritize what I need to do when, and
Mhm.
having a calendar which is up to date and I mean, using technology has really helped. But this is all new for me. Before this, it was all in my head and I was just juggling my life through. And
Mhm.
also, I would say like take one day at a time in terms of like, okay, like if you have an exam, you study now.
Mhm.
And if something can be kept in a back burner, then you like do the
Mhm.
priority one, and then two, and then three, and then four and five. I think
Mhm.
just that is helping me. And overall, oh, another concept that I follow since ever is called filling the void. So,
Mhm.
for example, if you're in an elevator and you have like 20 seconds, you might as well like just reply to Instagram comments or something like that. And then
Mhm.
like you have like so many little voids in life. If you start noticing, you'll start filling them. And before you know, you're like getting so much work done, because a lot of these little tasks that you have in life are like 2 minutes work, but it's just that we procrastinate so much that it never gets done. And that's how it
Right.
becomes a task. But like filling the void concept, I think I learned in like eighth grade or something, then I've been following
Yeah.
it religiously, and it's been such a game changer.
Yeah, definitely. I saw a quote actually on Instagram like a few years earlier as well, as like if you can get it done in 2 minutes, just do it right now. Otherwise,
Yeah,
like it's just gonna like pile up, right? So
yeah,
I think it's the same
yeah.
type.
But again, that's very easier said than done.
I know. Especially like with Instagram and TikTok these days, like I just find myself scrolling and I'm like, oh, I
Yeah,
really have to stop, you know? And then like I'm always waiting for like that perfect time, like 7:05 or 7:10. And I'm like, I'll
yeah.
stop.
And then you start calling it business research.
Yeah, exactly.
I would like to touch a little more on the technical aspects of a business. So I know that a lot of people are scared into starting their own business just out of the fear of the unknown or the fear of managing the finances. What if it fails? How will I actually set up a company? Especially for immigrants in the US,
Yeah,
it's if you're on an F1, if you're on an OPT, it's very difficult to figure out what is right, what is legal, all
yeah.
of the criteria around your job. So I would love to learn more about how you managed all of those and what resources you used and how you follow through.
Like I said, when you can invest in Robinhood, for example, for an X and Y company, which I have lost a lot of money in, that's because during COVID, when we invested so much amount and then it plummeted
Yeah.
and then goes in waves. So I was like, might as well like invest in something that I can really have a hold on, like something that I can control. That was the mindset before I started investing in RecoverSeason. I was like, instead of investing in someone else, let me invest in myself and see how that goes. I want to give myself a chance.
Mhm.
And I'm not talking about like a lot of money. I'm talking about something that you can like um, risk to lose.
Mhm.
Something like that. That's where I started, and now I've been saving up little by little for the new collection, for example, or the new revamped website or something
Mhm.
like that. And
Mhm.
also, I was very fortunate to get an angel investor for us who can like help us in need, even if it's a little amount. But I have that confidence that okay, I can go to them and ask for something when I cannot do it myself for whatever reason. So I think again, like tapping into your network really helps. Having your friends and family invest in you helps. And not only invest money, invest time, invest name, like
Yeah.
like especially for immigrants, like that has helped me. Like having someone I know and trust have an interest in the company helps.
Great.
So if you want, there's always a way, and you can definitely find it. Otherwise, you will just be saying कि मैंने ये नहीं किया, वो नहीं किया, इस वजह से नहीं किया, उस वजह से नहीं किया. So
You're
it's
right.
just
It's
a
like all
matter of time.
excuses. I
Yeah.
think that goes
Yeah.
hand in hand with self-confidence, right? Like if you have confidence within yourself, then
Yeah.
you are willing to, I guess, invest that time and money into yourself. Otherwise, you're like taking the easy
Yeah.
route out, right? So
Yeah, exactly. And that's what people see in you, and that's why they will invest in you, right? Like, if you're not confident about things working out, then who is going to have the confidence
who's
in
going
you?
to invest? Yeah, like that's very important in your like people have businesses that are going to be valued at 1 billion, but others might
Yeah,
not think it. But if you're confident in yourself, then obviously that shows, right? That shows through the business itself.
I think that shift in
yeah,
mentality is going to be very important, right?
it
You've
is.
always
And
had that. Yeah.
Yeah, and people don't value that enough. Like they're like, oh, like it's not that, it's more than that. I'm like, just start with that and you
Just
never know
start.
where it
Yeah,
reaches. Yeah.
it's a very like I feel like people get annoyed like they ask me for like influencing tips, right? Or, like how should I start influencing? I'm like just start. Like that's like the most basic thing that I say, and
Yeah.
people get so mad at me because it's like, what do you mean just start? I'm like literally I started my first like influencing journey. I literally just sat down in front of a video. I'm like, hi guys, this is my first video. Like that was so cringe to me,
Yeah.
right? But that's what really got me here. So
So something else as well. You were talking about how important it is and how people avoid talking about having a full-time job and
Mhm.
stability along with doing your own business or investing in yourself. It's just as important to be stable so you can explore and fund yourself. And people just don't
Exactly.
talk about it enough on Instagram or anywhere else in this world.
Exactly. Like people do talk, but they talk when they have already achieved a level and they have like either quit the jobs or they're at a stage where it's very aspirational. But for me at least, like I would say, and I have few friends who have done that as well. Like they work full time, yet in the evenings they have their own team in India, and they it's very motivating to see that they are talking to their team in India and being the boss. But in the
Mm.
daytime, they're doing the work in the computer and like getting scolded from
Right.
the boss. But that's really nice because you're literally building a future for yourself in like next 7, 10, 20 years. You might have such a big company of your own and like you can have like so much to reflect back and only because you did sacrifice like few hours of the day really hustled through your full-time job and for I hope for most people full-time job is seldom of their choice, you know, like it's not that you always get your dream job, but then you have to
Right.
suck it up most of the times and do things so
Just do
that
it. Exactly.
you can do something that you actually love. And for a
Right.
lot of entrepreneurs that's how it is. They fulfill their dreams because they are not able to like fulfill the dreams there in the full-time job or wherever.
Mhm. Would you go into full-time entrepreneurship? Since you are building so many brands, I feel like that is kind of the path that you are taking.
I am, yeah. I'm hoping that happens, but like I've set a tangible number for myself. Once I achieve that, once I'm like getting a steady income that matches my current salary from
Mhm.
RecoverSeason or from any other business that I build, then I'll leave it.
Yeah.
But having that number is it's quite a journey. It is what I'm
Right.
seeing right now. Hopefully, it
Right.
happens very soon, but it could
Mhm.
take time. And an average business takes 7 to 10 years to like break even.
Right.
So you have to keep investing money until it starts giving you returns, which are folds in number.
Mhm.
So so let's see. But for now, I think I'll be here.
Yeah, yeah, no, makes sense. I've listened to other podcasts and stuff, and people say like it takes about 2 years to even get your own salary from your company, and it's not gonna be a lot,
Exactly.
obviously, the second
Yeah.
year. So yeah, it definitely takes some time.
Let's talk a little bit about your new venture. Um,
Yeah.
Spoken about it before, but I would love for other people to hear about it and how you've started out and what your plans are for this one.
Sure. So it's very new. It's called AmlaMatters, and I'm still deciding on the name, guys. For now, I thought, okay, it's like, okay, Amla Matters, it's cute. I'll just name that. It's like all green and like cute lime green color.
Yeah.
And I've been, so Amla is a superfood, as we know in Indian culture. Like we have been eating lots of Amla, ka murabba, and Amla candies and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
one Amla, like a little piece of Amla, little spear of Amla has power of 20 oranges, like and even vitamin C
Wow.
content is like 20 oranges in one little sphere.
Oh wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, and it's great for your hair, it's great for skin, it's great for
Yeah.
your nails as well, and it provides a lot of like antioxidants, and it's really rich in nutrients from all different perspectives. And so amla, so we know that healthy snacks are like our next go-to thing. Like we don't want to keep eating chips all our lives. So, yes, I'm hoping that we get a new and healthy, tasty snack in the
Mhm.
market. So right now we're at a very, very um, uh, starting point where we are just testing out products that we could launch, and I want to make sure it's low in sugar content, either it's made of honey or either things like that. So I'm like just trying to like tweak the recipe, and I'm working with someone who like makes things at home. So it's going to
Mhm.
be like very homely, at least to start with, and then when we grow big, then we can like take it to manufacturers and stuff like that. But for now, it's all home based, it's home cooked. So let's see. Like whenever I visit New York, I would love for you to guys to try it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I would love to try it. Like even for recover season, is everything like built in home for you guys?
Yeah, so for RecoverSeason, everything is tailor made by the same tailor who stitched my mom's clothes like for 20 years now.
Oh wow.
So it's very very small scale, and every piece is like so different for good or bad. But
Yeah.
like every piece is different because it has that human touch, and it has errors, but it has a lot of like love-filled errors. But that's the beauty of Recover Season is every piece is different. But and if you want to customize it, I can customize it for you and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
now we are seeing growth in business, so hopefully we'll still keep it like everything will be handmade, but we would have like a quality control person who can like see through our products and like have more uniformity.
Yeah,
So
makes
but
sense.
it was definitely a great start in terms of like how we utilize like tailors around us, tailors in Surat who can stitch for us, we have
Sure.
known for years.
Mhm.
And in a way it's our way to like also help them grow themselves.
For sure,
So I
yeah.
see that my Nilesh Bhai is his name. So
Mhm.
Nilesh Bhai has a daughter, and she's an excellent badminton player. So
Uh-huh.
because we help Nilesh Bhai get so much business, so he can put his daughter in a business, badminton coaching.
Oh
So
wow.
we are like seeing a little
Awesome.
progress, and it's very nice. It's very wholesome.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's so nice.
for sure.
And what about like packaging and stuff? Like, is that also like handmade, or how's that going to be?
So for now, I think we are gonna do like um we won't do handmade for now because we will be just testing
Okay.
it out, and I
Mhm.
haven't honestly thought about it. But there's this organization that Recover Season has also worked with, and they employ physically challenged heroes.
Mhm.
And they have like really nice packaging of like they use paper, and they put like a nice lining inside, so it's paper yet it doesn't like spoil what's inside. So I'm
Mhm.
thinking of employing them and have like something cute like that's going to be cute for sure. So
Awesome.
but we're still in the process of like finding things out and managing stuff. So I don't have a very concrete answer. I'm just thinking
Yeah.
out loud.
No, that's kind of the truth that we want to hear, right? Like business is
Yeah,
hard. It's not like we have the correct answer, right? Like one answer is going to
yeah,
be different for one person versus another. So we like the authentic authentic answer
yeah.
here.
Yeah, let me just build on that. So now that you already have experience working on a good business for yourself, and now that you are starting on a new one, what are things that you would avoid and things that you've basically learned from your previous experiences now?
You guys know what jugaad is?
Basically, finding a hacky solution.
Yeah. The workarounds. I'm a big jugado, and I would not do that in this business because I've done that a lot in Recover Season. It has touch wood like sailed through, but for for a business that's in the customer goods segment, and that is like edible and stuff, that's not gonna work, and I have to be very mindful of that. And like there's lots of certifications and like lots of like regulations around food products, especially. So, like my note to self is just to be very mindful of all those things because
Mhm.
it's more responsibility, and this is a bigger business venture which will need more input and more investment. So,
Mhm.
yeah, so now I know what not to do in terms of like starting out, and I need to hire someone in order to like see through the quality process, see through
Mhm.
the regulations. And also for social media, like I cannot just randomly post whatever because this is something that people have to ingest and they have to be very sure of it. So I just want to make sure like we do everything right. And it's a high risk but high return kind of a business. So
Yeah. I think that depends on the business, right? Like when you're in fashion,
yeah,
obviously it's not edible. So like,
yeah,
like you can post like certain things, you can
yeah.
advertise in certain ways, but yeah, it definitely
And
makes sense.
fashion has like more freedom, there's more creative freedom. While
Right.
another side of business, like especially like the edible goods and all, it's like they have like more standardized procedures that you have to follow that are like norms in the industry and like everyone follows. So I
Mhm.
think there's not a lot of wiggle room in terms of like operations, while fashion or like garment industry has like a lot of room that you can experiment with. And I think this is like one of the reasons why there are like so many fashion brands, because every fashion brand is so distinctive. Like everyone has like such different view of putting out the garments and the creative aspect of it.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean both business are very different, but I'm excited.
How does your PhD candidacy come into play with everything else that you have ongoing in your life right now?
Yeah, that's so I wanted to like get it out of the way before things get very serious in life, before I get like more responsibilities and stuff, before I grow old. So I wanted to like I already have two masters. I was like the next step is to do PhD, and I wanted to
Investors.
yeah. So my dad, so this is the story. So my dad, he retired, and he's a great teacher, and he wanted to like teach in a college or university, but he couldn't because he did not have the higher degree that people need now to become a professor or to teach or something like that.
Mhm.
So I was having this conversation with him, and he was like, "You should do this because in future it will help you." And he still thinks that I'm gonna like do 40 years in my service and like retire, but but anyway, like he said that you should do PhD just so that it secures your future after retirement and things
Mhm.
like that. So I was like, okay. And also it gives you a better growth perspective, and you can be at places that most people cannot reach only because you have a PhD, you have like more niche knowledge field. It helps in terms of like I would now know that okay, like how does a warehouse function, for example, and like have like very specific ERP role in that. I could like really tell you that maybe this software is going to be nicer. This software is not going to be nicer. How does it differentiate? What kind of solutions we should use? Stuff like
Mhm.
that. It comes with experience, and that would take like 10 to 12 to 15 years for me to get that. But PhD provides me in like 2 to 3 years.
Mhm.
So stuff like that, like it's obviously very niche, like what kind of PhD you do, where do you work? There's so many different aspects, but I think doing a more research oriented degree would definitely differentiate you from everybody else in the when especially when everyone is in the same rat race.
Right. Yeah.
It was lovely to hear about your dad and his experience teaching.
Yeah.
How important do you think it is to have teachers, mentors, and that sort of network around you that fosters growth?
Oh, it's very, very important. But at the same time, it also depends on you, like how you utilize those mentors,
Mhm.
because people around you are your walking mentors, like everyone is a mentor. But
Yeah.
like how you really tapped into them, like how do you like ask them the right questions for you, and like how do you like really like get the conversation out is on you. So yeah, like you definitely need mentors, and you need people who can like you can trust and they can
I do. Yeah.
trust. Yeah, like so definitely like and especially in this era where you can reach out to any CEO, anybody. It's so exciting. Like
Right.
Right.
even like before starting recover season, I've like emailed so many people, haven't heard back from them yet, but then
Yeah.
but really it's nice, like and in the way I found so many friends.
Mhm.
I have this mentor here, her name is Devika, she's based in Dallas. And whenever I ask her a question, I met her on Instagram and she answers. And that's a very powerful tool. And
Mhm.
I'm not sure if she considers me a mentee, but I'm sure like I consider her a mentor for sure. So
Yeah. Makes sense. I guess our last question now is what advice do you have for aspiring entrepreneurs?
sure, I would say just start and take one step at a time. Don't get overwhelmed. I think I mean, it's such a cliche, and I like, but just start. Like,
Yeah.
don't overthink it. Just pick up your phone, start, and I think everything is like within the reach of our fingertips. So might as well utilize the world and the tech era that we are living in.
Yeah, especially like ChatGPT, all the AI.
Yeah. Oh my God, it has like changed my life for good.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sanya. It was
It was
so
Of
lovely
nice
talking.
course.
talking to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun. Thank you guys. And you guys are doing amazing. I hope you guys have so many amazing guests, and hopefully we can have like an in-person event soon.
Yep.
Yes,
That's the plan. Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.